Hey, Samson, how's it going? We are back. So last time we had a conversation about Africa, the African diaspora, and Black people in general, and the economic empowerment. Today we're gonna probably discuss something light that might turn into something more productive. But again, for people that do not know you, who are you, Samson? And then I will reintroduce myself.
Okay. Well, my name is Samson. I hail from a small country in Africa called Malawi, better known as the warm heart of Africa. Basically, my goal is to unite all the African cultures and also to, in a manageable fashion, bring as much truth as possible to the diaspora. I work in tech, and I basically, try to leverage technological tools to not only accommodate for a living, but to also foster the expansion and evolution of the African cultures.
Perfect. Thank you, Samson. My name is Christian. I'm part of. I'm in technology as well. I live in the US. I am from Cameroon. We are called the small Africa because we have pretty much all the climates, different resources. Also, I love technology. I love creating, and like Samson, my goal is to use technology in some capacity to benefit our people, and we try to do this through knowledge, through media, and through different avenues. But this is not today is not about us. Today is about our brother Will Smith, or a man that personally respect a lot. I respect his achievement. I respect his work ethics. I respect his passion for his craft, which is acting and which was rap at some point. And I respected the image that he gave of a united family. But today, thanks to our sister Jada, his wife, if I can call her that, we know we've been exposed to the underbelly of their couple. And just a few days ago, apparently, we've seen this clip that we're going to share with you. 1 second, let me share my screen, and then we're going to take just a few. See Dwayne. Okay. I like him, right? Like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find is like this is unlike him. Right?
And restart that and up the volume a little bit. I don't think.
All right, 1 second.
Pause it. Get the volume up a little.
Yeah. Okay.
So before you play, who is this guy?
This guy name is explicitly Will Smith's best friend, assistant. So here we have in this video that we're about to watch from Tasha K, the winos. By the way, this is what's the term that they use on YouTube? I forgot. They have a term for that. They have a term. Basically, this is we're not infringing on any copyright. We're just using the material to illustrate our point. Okay. So yes. So we're gonna hear Brother Bilal, which was the assistant of Will Smith, talk about a scene that he witnessed. Let's listen, and then we'll come back and comment. Let's listen. Let's watch.
Now I'm holding Dwayne down too, so I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Can you process that for a second?
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murder. It was murder in there.
Okay.
So we just heard this. By the way, you can go, for those people that are interested, you can go to Tasha K's channel that you just saw there.
Oh my God.
Thanks to that. So, Samson, based on the intro that I just made of our brother Will Smith, which I admire, and then I'm sure you had admired at some point, what do you think of this allegation that were made by his ex-assistant and friend, brother Bilal?
Well, there's a lot of questions in my head about the motive of Brother Bilal,
Okay.
But I think a few things I heard is that he's also selling a book, or so he's doing a book or something like that,
It's possible.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I heard something like that. So maybe he's looking for a bit of promotion based on that too. But
does it
I'm inclined.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Sorry, I was going to ask a
I'm
question.
inclined. I'm inclined to half believe it.
Why? Why do you have
Based
belief?
on based on a few things that
Okay.
I have gathered over the years about, say Mr. Will Smith himself, and also
Mm-hmm.
the entertainment industry itself per se.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this guy, right, to say outright say that,
Mm-hmm.
either what he's saying is true, or he's in agreement with state parties because he's facing serious judicial action
Yes.
in
And I think he would not say
stating
this.
such a thing.
He would not say this if he didn't have proof. He would not say it because
Right.
he would
That's
have
what I'm
said
saying.
he would have said allegedly. But the fact that
Or allegedly, at least.
he's saying that fact, like factually, without putting allegedly in front of it, that means that he has evidence. He has some kind of evidence. And I'm inclined to believe him because he didn't say allegedly.
I'm also inclined to believe him because, again, like I said, Will Smith is not really the only one who's
Without
he's just
no
the tip
name
of the
dropping, no
iceberg.
name dropping. Right now.
Well, okay,
Huh?
all right. Let's talk about if this is true, do you still
Yes.
admire Will Smith? Okay. And based on what?
If this is true, do I still admire Will Smith? As a man, as an actor,
Mind you, he was getting murdered by Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Artin. It's not Dwayne the way Johnson. It's not Dwayne
Oh,
Johnson.
it's not The Rock. Okay.
It's Dwayne Artin. I forgot the name. It's a. I have
But
it.
Dwayne Johnson is shorter than Will Smith, isn't he?
Hold on. I have the picture of Dwayne Artin so that people know who we're talking about here.
Let me see. Yeah, can I see that, please?
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Actually, let me see.
So here is Dwayne Artin. That's the gentleman, the brother that we're talking about here. I'm going to share my screen. And this is all allegedly from our part. Please don't sue us. Okay. Samson, can you see my screen? Basically, this is the
Dwayne.
Artin. This is the man we're talking about here. This is the brother we're talking about.
Okay. Let's see.
So yeah. So that's not the point.
Can you look at more? Can we look at more of the pictures? Can we go down, scroll down a little bit?
But I mean, that's not the point of
Okay.
that's not the point of the conversation. I don't like to delve into, you know, what people look like, is because that's not the point. We're trying to illustrate something, right? But just so people have an idea.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to get a view of what their energy is like together, because it can lend credence to their whole. And do they seem like boyfriend and boyfriend? Is what I'm saying. And maybe they do, maybe they don't. All
Here's a
right,
picture.
cool.
Here's a picture of them together.
So they've been together. I mean, they've been friends. It seems
Yes.
like for a while, right?
Yeah.
But why would Will Smith be the one receiving?
These are the type of questions that I'm not going to. I don't know enough about that. I mean, people have different. It's not because you're big and strong that you might just you might be the giver, right? You might be the receiver. I don't know. Anyway.
All right. So
you asked me a question. You said, do I still admire Will Smith? As an actor, yes. As a craftsman, as an artist, yes. As a man, do I still admire his work ethic? Yes. The fact that he's gay will never take away from that. It doesn't even matter to the big scheme of things. The thing that bothers me is the image and the lie that he sold me and sold the rest of us. Because you have to understand, growing up, when you're a geek, right? It's not very, especially in the 80s and the 90s, when we were growing up, it wasn't cool to be a geek or to be a little bit awkward. But the Fresh Prince made it cool to be corny. You see what I'm saying? Made it cool to, how can I say this? To go to school, to be from a affluent family. You see what I'm saying? To be in an affluent family. He gave some credence to the geek squad, to the rest of us, right? And then when we saw his progress and being a family man, being with his wife for so long, right? And we were to what we thought was you know, we know every couple has its issues, but
wasn't his wife also like? Didn't they come out with some scandal about them having an open relationship? I think the wife was sleeping with the son's friend.
Yes,
all those things.
Yes,
There's a lot. There's a lot, that's going
yes.
on with this family.
Yes, I want to focus on Will Smith because since we usually talk about black men and black people in this show, I want to start with.
Well, his family is. They say, okay, listen. Here's the thing, right? I've heard like, for a man to know what a man, the true measure of a man, you have to look at his family. Don't look at the man himself. Look at his family.
Yes, yes.
What are his kids? What are his kids and his wife look like? What are they talking about? What are they? How are they functioning?
I also think it's an unfair measurement because you can be a good man, meaning you can be a responsible man, but for whatever reason, and you might have tried to impart some values to your kids, right, and to your wife. Let's say to your kids specifically, leave the wife alone for a second, but to your kids. But your kids, when they grow up, they follow their own path and they're influenced by others. It is not your fault at that point when they're adult. You're not responsible for their behavior anymore. When they are children, yes. But when they become grown adult, I cannot judge the parent based on the behavior of a grown adult. You see what I'm saying?
Well, okay. Well, may I input that maybe if you instill the right characteristics in a person, then they don't really sway from those things. So
that is not true. That is not necessarily true.
What do you mean?
Because you can.
Why would you just so vehemently disagree with that?
Because you can, let's say, for example, you can teach your son that is not good to. Okay, because I can teach my son, my daughter, that is not good to steal, right? And when they are with me and they grow up with me, they don't do that. And let's say, for example, for whatever reason, they go to college, they meet, they fall into the wrong crowd, and their behavior change. Let's say they get influenced and they let themselves be influenced and they forget all the teaching that I gave them. Even within them, they will know it's wrong. They still, because they want to fit into the crowd. We've all been teenagers here. Yeah? That's not like we were always 40s and always reasonable. There might be a need to fit into the crowd. If you don't have a strong personality, if you're not willing to go against the grain, which most people are not, most people are sheep. So the person looking at my child cannot fault me for not having taught my child not to steal, because I did teach my child, but my child did not respect my teaching. At that point, as an adult,
well, I didn't say really teach. I said instill. Like instilling and teaching are two different things.
Let's say instill even. Let's say instill even.
For instance, let's talk about you. Let's talk about us. You know, let's make this personal, right?
Mhm.
There's certain things you learned from your dad. Would you say you swayed from them?
At some point of my life, yes. Yeah. If I'm honest, yes. At some point of my life, yes. Yeah.
Like the core disciplines.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I will openly tell you that. Yes. Yes. There are sometimes when in my younger days when I've strayed from some of the teachings of my father, yes. But because those teachings were in me, a couple of years down the road, I come back. But the thing is, the fact is, I strayed for 2 years from some of his teachings. You see what I mean? That did happen. And my dad cannot be held responsible for my dumbass action for those 2 years. Me, as an adult, I'm responsible, not him.
But you came back.
Yes, eventually, yes.
Right, because the thing was there, it's firmware. No matter how, you know, whatever it is, it's like firmware.
I'm sorry, did you say
Right.
that?
I said it's like firmware.
Yes, yes,
So
that's
no
correct.
matter, you know,
Yeah.
it's still running in the background. Even if
Yes,
you're lost in the jungle, it's still running in the
yes,
background.
yeah.
You know, so you always, but it was instilled in you at a young age. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you know, if certain things are instilled in children at a young age,
Mhm.
you know, they don't really sway that far from it because there's that grounding.
Mhm.
That's why it's very important to get young kids when they're young.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because if you miss that time,
Mhm.
then at that point it becomes a point where it's too late because it's not firmware, it's not instilled in them.
That's true.
You understand what I mean? So, and it's like, you know, we as Africans, we're instilled, most Africans are instilled with family values.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
correct.
that's a grounding factor.
Mhm.
So there's only so far we will go before
Mhm.
we start heading back
Mhm.
because we have those family values instilled within us in our culture,
Yeah.
right? That cannot be said of a lot of different people. Like um, I would never entertain the prospect of being gay because I never saw that when I was little, or anybody ever even suggested anything like that to me when I was little.
This
You
is
know,
where this is where we're going to go. I don't know if we should go into that debate, but it goes into the debate of nature versus nurture. And I'm going to leave my thoughts for later, but I want to know what are your thoughts about brother Will Smith, because you asked me a question like if I still admired him. I think I answered you, right? I think I told him I admire his work.
well, you did answer. You said, I remember what you said, and
Mhm.
maybe, you know, if you run it back, you can correct me.
Mhm.
But you say you do admire his work ethic,
Mhm.
his I guess his accomplishment, because when you were younger,
Mhm.
as a nerd,
Mhm.
something along those lines.
Mhm.
But also you counterbalance that with the fact that it's interesting that he was in a sense living a lie.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the thing is it possible to, I guess we all lie. We as
Yes.
human beings, we're lying animals.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But um a lie such so egregious though
Mhm.
is lends me to wonder what else are you lying about? You know?
That that is true.
If
I
if if,
Mhm.
if you can lie so egregiously, and is it because what are your thoughts? Because I think at the end of the day, all these guys to me, what they're concerned about, and anybody who's been on my platform, who's listened to me,
Mhm.
understands that I always say, look, man, you should really venerate and celebrate the people around you. Those are the true celebrities. Those are the true
Yep.
stars.
Mhm.
Those are people you see every day. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Mhm.
And they have a real, and they have real talents, a real element of humanity, and you know things that you can really count on.
Mhm.
These are the people we only see sound images. You know, we only see images. You never really meet them. We
Mhm.
don't know what they are like behind closed doors.
That's true.
You know, certain things start to seep out. You know, certain things start to happen, and it gives a whole new picture and a whole new perspective to the whole thing. So that said, it's like I the entertainment industry to me, has a demonic element.
Okay.
That's what I've sussed out. You know what I mean? Because again, what I've noticed over the years is the feminization of the Black man.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Black culture,
Yeah.
right? And the proof is in the pudding. If we can even go into like a history of
Broke. Yeah. Back breaking.
like
Back breaking.
yeah, back breaking. You know, it goes back to even the slave days or whatever. But of these celebrities wearing dresses,
Yep.
or even prominent athletic figures.
Mm-hmm.
And another point to ponder is like, why is it that the Black community, our leaders are like entertainers? No other culture has their leader as entertainers. You know, why is it that our leaders or the people who represent and speak for us are entertainers? And then these entertainers are like at the behest of, they're not really speaking from themselves. They're always speaking in along the lines of um, along a channel line of what they can and they can't say, you know, as in their control. We never really get to see their true personality per se. It's always an act.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas we look at like the other cultures, not to drop too many names, but their leaders are not entertainers. They're dignitaries, they're like, you know, people of prominence, people who are speaking real real substantial things, not DMX or no disrespect to any of these people. Rest in peace, DMX, but not, you know what I mean, not entertainers. That doesn't that never really made sense to me. And then when you couple that down with the feminization of particularly the Black men,
Mm-hmm.
right, which ultimately cascades into this. Now it seems like it's okay for everybody to come out as being gay or promoting one of these gay things. Now you have to remember, to you and me,
by
it's
the way,
shocking.
I want to
Kids, yeah.
make sure that the people listening know that we have nothing against homosexual, against lesbians. Everybody has the right to love who they want and to be with who they want.
I have an issue with making it a social issue.
Go ahead.
And by that, I mean, there are people who sleep with animals,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
you know, but that's not being promoted.
That is correct. Yeah. It's called bestiality.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sexual intercourse
Mm-hmm.
is a man, you know, and a woman, right?
That's heterosexual intercourse. Yes.
I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's the union that brings fruit.
Yes.
That's the union that brings life.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear about that.
Yes, but that is not the topic of the show.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to be real.
Okay.
I'm going to be real. That's the union that brings fruit. So if you want to talk about names and all this other type, anything else from that is a deviation. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes their sex how they want it behind closed doors.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there's sexual intercourse and then there's sexual deviancy. You know what I mean? Maybe I like people in nurse uniform or whatever it is. That's my deviation of it, or clothes or whatever it is I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's deviation from the normal one, right? So bestiality, that's a deviation, right? And some may even argue those people are mentally ill because you're not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah.
So I take issue when it's put on the front stage and promoted. When sexual deviation is promoted.
Here is my issue with that, because because it's, I mean, I don't want to go into this topic too long, because the topic was Will Smith, and it was to be a light. It is
Will Smith.
It was supposed to be a light-hearted topic, but it's going to things serious, which I anticipated it would go into, which is great actually. I've thought long and hard about this. For me, I think being the sexuality of somebody is not a choice. I don't think so. I think, and I'm going to take an example graphic example, and then and I apologize to all the people that know me and that listen to this, and to all the people that are to my employers. I apologize, but this is I'm gonna be real. As a man, as a kid, like when I was 12, 13, when I started, looking at young girls, my age, or 2 years older than me, one thing that I noticed, and at that time there was, there was no porn, I wasn't watching porn, nothing like that. But one thing that always attracted me in a woman is a shape, is a ass, to be clear. You see, that was innate. That is something that I liked, right? I also like the waist of a woman, right? I like the legs. I like the face. I like certain things, right? Those are things. This is something that, and I like dark skinned women. That is not something that was taught to me, right? You can say, oh, it was influenced because in my environment, maybe there were a lot of women that were like that, but there were also a lot of women that were not like that, right? But this is just something innate that I'm attracted to. So based on that, that fact that fact about me, I can also see where a woman might be innately attracted to another woman. I can also see where a man might be innately attracted to another man. I'm not saying that those type of attraction are going to bear fruit, but I can also see that they exist. I can consider they exist. Now, you can interpret those attraction however you want, as not natural, as not ordained by God if you believe in God. But the fact is that they exist. They exist. They're a fact of us. And even in nature, they exist. Same sex in nature exists. You see? We cannot act like
With
it
what
doesn't.
animal?
I think even baboon or chimpanzees, it has been observed. Yes, it has been observed in nature. I'm not making this shit up. You can look it up. So if it exists in nature, in animals that don't have any, that we think have no concept of these structures that we have.
That's allegedly. I think that one is allegedly.
It's not a legend. Oh man. Okay, we don't have time to go and Google and do searches there. But that's not the point. To answer your questions, to answer a question about that, to me, I think being homosexual is as natural as being heterosexual. That's what I think. That's a conclusion that I came to a long time ago in my 20s, and I'm 40, but I'm 40 now. So, yeah.
Right. My take on that, if I can impose my take on that,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are living dark secrets. You know what I mean? I'm probably one of them. So when I was younger, I would say one of the people that were taking care of me, or my babysitter, right? He took sexual advantage of me.
Sorry about that.
At the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, thankfully, that was a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the damage isn't too much, but you have to realize, right? A lot of people in their most impressionable years are raped.
That is
Are
correct.
living with this thing, and they may not even intellectually remember it, but their body remembers it. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of trauma that happens behind closed doors with these kids, amongst all of us. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's natural or unnatural, but I want everybody to understand and take into account that there's a lot of people that live with trauma. And if a kid is being raped by a male kid is being raped by a male, or a female kid is being raped by
Female.
a female or something like that, they can easily, grow up thinking that it's their choice to like that, or to, because they're mentally broken. That's just the thing I'm saying. Let me just finish, because
okay.
because I gave you a little bit of space to talk. Let me just finish. Basically, my whole point is it's not a thing that bears fruit, and to me, it's just more so, and that's my guideline to saying whether it's natural or not, is that it doesn't bear fruit, so that one is something we can put aside. Let's get back to Mr. Will Smith here. There's a reason why, if this is true, there's a reason why, you know what I mean? He didn't want to tell it to the majority of the people from the beginning. It's because he probably wouldn't have sold as many movies.
Of
You
course.
know what I mean? There's a reason why people hide or people go behind closed doors and do this. It's
Yes.
because the majority of society has not yet accepted all this, but they want to walk us down where we reach the point where we're accepting it because it's unacceptable behavior to begin with, or the majority of the people.
One thing you see, one thing that one thing that borders me with that line of thinking. Okay, because you asked me if I still respected Will Smith, and I gave you my opinion, right? I told you the thing that I'm disappointed by was the lie, right? But all his achievements, all his traits, uh, all his traits of being hardworking, um, being hardworking, being a family man. Well, that is in dispute. But being hardworking, being successful, uh, all these things, being creative, all these things don't go away because it maybe likes it to take it from the back. It doesn't go away. Whoever he chooses to or like to give it from the back, I'll give it allegedly. All these things, what he does in his bedroom, in the comfort of his own home or trailer, whatever, is none of our business. Because I don't think we meaning common people, normal people would like people to see us and to know what we do behind closed door with our significant other. You see what I mean? This is his private life. Yes, he's a public person, but this specific thing is his private life. And he never broadcast it. He never put it into our face. You see, he never put it into our face. But at the same time, the issue that I have is sold us a lie. You see, there are people that are that don't say anything on the subject, that just live their life like back home in Africa. I'm going to say in Cameroon because I don't want to speak for all African countries, but in Cameroon there are a lot of people that are gay. You will not know. You see what I'm saying? They live their life peacefully, but you will not know unless you know them personally and they trust you, because whatever happens behind your door, it's your business. You see what I mean? And that is how I see it. To me, it doesn't diminish. And the reason why I think like that is because I always, when I was very young, I always thought, okay, if I have a son, okay, and I raise that son, and that son happens to be gay for whatever reason, am I going to reject him? Hell no. And the natural answer that came in my head is like, heck no. You see what I'm saying? No, I will not reject him. And I will not reject him, why would I reject somebody else that is also gay or that is also lesbian? You see what I'm saying? That was my reflection. That was my thought process. Again, this is why 20 years ago, in my 20s, early 20s. But so to
Okay. Yeah, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but my take again goes back to why make it a social issue. You understand what I mean? That's
okay.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Because um the gay community gets allowances,
Okay.
in our taxpayer dollars.
Okay.
So do the LGBTQ, they get insurance benefits and all this other kind of stuff. We can extend that same thing to all sexual deviances if we want. You know what I mean? But the thing is, there's a structure that's promoting, this specific type of behavior, right? Even though I don't want my son to be gay, neither do I want him exposed to any gay content,
Okay.
because those are very impressionable years for him. He doesn't know what is right and wrong yet. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily saying it's wrong. I just don't want that as an idea that's instilled in his head that, it's okay. Nor do I want him to be or tampered with or victimized, so to speak, at a young age, because those things are, like I said earlier, are really unalterable. They're very hard to deal with. And I'm not going to sit here and say I castigate anybody for any kind of choices I make. But again, if you're in a position of influence, if you're taking, because it's the people that make these celebrities because it's the people that pay their money. Because of course, they don't get me wrong, they're Will Smith is very talented. He's a great actor.
Yes.
Nobody can take that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can take that away. But would he have made as much money if he had come out at the beginning and said he's a gay man? You know, this is why, if you are gay, are you lying about being heterosexual? You know what I mean?
So you see the question that you posed there, to me, is not a problem with Will Smith, it's a problem with our society. Here's the truth. The truth is that a lot of great generals that we admire, Alexander the Great, a lot of great artists that have changed the world, that we sing songs, we hear their music, right? Today, we're gay, we're lesbians, right? So the point is, to me, who you sleep with or who you love, not naturally, it is your fucking business. The things at the end of the day is, are you, when I'm looking from a practical sense, are you an asset to the world? You see what I'm saying? Or are you a liability? That's all I judge. Are you an asset to the community, meaning us as human beings, or are you a liability? That's what we should be judged by, I think. Who will sleep with? I mean, that's your private business. As long as you don't touch children, and as long as you are having sex with people that are consenting and that are adults in the region where you are, more power to you. You see, that's to me, that's what it comes down to. Because if you start judging which sin is greater or which behavior flaw is greater than the other, we're never gonna get out of that. You see what I mean? That's
So basically, it's okay to lie to make money, right?
I wouldn't. You see, that is the thing. It was ambitious at that time, and at that time in the 90s, even up to the 80s and the 90s, that shit wasn't flying. You know this, right? Like you couldn't be like you could be, but like and especially being a black actor, being that big, like it doesn't go with the image. You see, when in my image, when we were watching the thing and they say that he was bent over, you started laughing because it doesn't match with who he is physically. You get what I'm saying? So he knew. I mean, if what he said is true, he knew he couldn't come out. He knew, and I can understand his perspective. I can understand. I mean, from a financial standpoint, why he made that decision. You see, that's the thing. But what I don't know is, did his wife know? When did his wife find out? You see, did she know before they got married? Did she know? Did she find out in the marriage? You see what I mean?
We don't even know if it's true.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know if it's true. Because there's also like we said, there's an attempt of this society to feminize and emasculate black men. And when I say society, I'm talking about Western society and more specifically American society. Because the black man, a strong black man, not only physically but also that has his money in order, that has his family in order, and that is a leader, is a threat. Any man that is like that, but specifically in America, a black man that is like that, he's a threat. He is a threat. He's a threat, especially if he knows himself and his history. He has the means. He is a threat. He's a threat.
So, Mr. Will Smith, I don't know, but what I've noticed about the Smith family is they pop up a lot in the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Because recently Jada Pinkett was selling a book and she came out saying
yes.
the whole marriage was a lie. So basically, what I'm starting to get a note of is that these guys are all actors. They're all really just acting. We don't really know who they really are behind. We don't know what the truth is about them.
Yes.
They're putting on a show. You know what I mean? And if you agree with me that it's okay to do that just in the name of making money, then that's the end of discussion there. But the thing is,
By the way,
our young kids are watching this. Our young African kids are watching this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's important that we we protect them
I agree.
from certain images.
I agree with that 100%.
From certain images, and at least we give at least until they get of able age to understand. Thank God, I wasn't exposed to this stuff until much later in life.
Mm-hmm.
God knows what would have happened if I admire Will Smith. I see him in movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's this guy which is a hero, which is strong.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
then I see in real life is this. I'm gonna think as a little kid, what? Well, that's okay. That's what we do. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
That's just my whole point in all this thing. It's not like it's bad or good. It's just that I think it should be kept at the parents' discretion. You know what I mean? This kind of stuff. It shouldn't be promoted widely like this.
I think sexuality express itself naturally in your teens. In your teens, you will know who you are. You see what I mean? But you're still impressionable. But if you haven't been tampered with, like you said, in your teens, naturally you will know what you're attracted to. It can go, your taste can develop, but what like this, what gender attracts you, you will know naturally. You will know. This was an interesting discussion, but this is only the first part. I want us to come back to this because, like, I want us to touch on the angle on what can Black men do to avoid being the situation that Will Smith is, where he had to lie to get to. He worked hard, but he also had to lie to be really successful, and his marriage is kind of in shambles for different reasons. Maybe did he choose the right wife, or is it a concubine? I think that is something that we should talk about later and try to give some some advice and maybe some guidance, or at least our understanding or reading of the situation. I don't know. What do you think?
Right. I think the deeper story is the industry itself, like getting into the industry and what it's choosing to promote. So I don't blame these guys. They're just actors. But the man you were describing, the African man, we're not seeing him we are probably here and there, but not in these high prominent roles. What we're seeing is either the thug, you know what I mean, or the watered down effeminate man.
Well, one version of that man, of an actor like that, might be Denzel Washington, and we should talk about him.
Yeah, we could get into Denzel Washington and see what he's about. Because he recently said some pretty profound things about, maybe there's a lot of different people we can get into, We'll get into Kanye, see what he's talking about.
Oh boy. Folks.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up.
I mean, these are influential people, right?
Yeah. So
it's been a good one.
Yeah. We had to jump on this, but we're gonna have a even deeper conversation because this story is interesting because it touches on different things. It touches on sexuality, the love of money, the love of fame, and what is acceptable to succeed. It touches on what is masculinity, the emasculation of Black men in Western society or in society in general, and what you can learn from that. So I'm gonna, like they say, Mr. Samson, I'm gonna bid you adieu. Any parting and wise word for the audience?
I bid you adieu, sir. My parting words is the way out is within.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The way out is within. So when we look at this, these people in the industry, most of them don't have that way out anymore because they've chosen to take the path of going as far as possible in the seeking of material needs at the expense of soul searching, which when you disconnect from that soul journey, you end up going down a path of depravity. And don't be surprised when we hear more and more coming out about the truth of what really happens in these places. Until next time, though, I bid you adieu.
Yes, and by the way, guys, everyone, don't forget to go to morecast.net. It will appear somewhere here. And then don't forget to go to our YouTube channel, just YouTube Morecast, MOORCAST. And if you have questions, email. We're also on Facebook. Instagram, and you can send us an email at info@morecast.net. Love you all. See
And
you.
any suggestion, any topic
Yep.
suggestions, and
Yep.
also if you want to be featured, if
Yes.
you want to have a discussion.
Definitely. Holla.
Right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
I know you stop. The way you shake it is your back. It do me done. Now you just got my baby.